Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've ever desperately named a file something like project_final_v2_final_really.docx, you know exactly the kind of utter chaos we're trying to escape today. We're going to completely change how you think about managing your professional projects. We're taking version control from a frustrating list of commands you have to memorize and reframing it into a profound mental model for collaboration. Whether you're just starting out or you're looking to architect your long-term career footprint, there's a distinct layer of understanding here for you. We'll start simple, build up a robust framework, and then look at the bigger strategic picture. Let's dive in.
To get the big picture, let's talk about a scenario that is frankly all too familiar. Have you ever lost hours of work to a conflicting file save or an overwritten document right before a massive pitch? Yeah, we've all felt that sudden stomach drop, right? You've been working on this complex file all day and poof, it's just gone. Maybe it was accidentally overwritten by a teammate across the country or corrupted by some mysterious syncing error. And usually, that means starting over from absolute zero.
But imagine if your professional projects had video game checkpoints. Think about playing a really challenging game. If a mission fails, you don't go all the way back to the start screen, right? No, you just respawn at a guaranteed, safe save point. And that brilliantly illustrates the core concept we're exploring today. Instead of relying on one single file that constantly overwrites its own past, you get a timeline of unbreakable milestones.
This brings us to the core solution, version control. Essentially, it's a tracking system that records every single change made to a file or project over time. It allows you to recall specific, intact versions whenever you need them. Think of it as a permanent time machine for your work. It's way more than just a basic backup. It's a meticulous, step-by-step history of your entire project, ensuring you literally never lose your progress.
Let's ground this in reality for a second. Imagine you're building a project for a super demanding client. You present it, and out of nowhere they ask to abandon the current direction and revert to an iteration you showed them exactly 3 weeks ago. Without a time machine, you'd be rebuilding that old version entirely from memory, which is, let's be honest, incredibly frustrating. But with version control in place, you're totally empowered. You simply navigate back to that exact checkpoint in seconds, saving you immense amounts of time, money, and quite frankly, your sanity.
Okay, so now that we know why this matters, let's step into the framework of how it actually operates under the hood. To grasp this properly, we really need to separate two different pieces of the puzzle. On one side, you have the local tracking software. That's the engine running privately on your own machine, recording your personal history. And on the other side, we have the collaborative cloud. That's the online hosting platform that lets you safely share that history with the world and your teammates. Two distinct things working in perfect harmony. Now here is a crucial takeaway for you. Memorizing commands is a trap. Seriously, let that sink in for a second. So many professionals deal with constant friction because they try to memorize technical syntax by rote. They completely miss the underlying mental model of how work actually moves between people and machines. When an error pops up, if you only know the syntax, you're going to panic. But if you understand the mental model, you just read what the system is telling you and you adjust.
To build that mental model, try visually mapping out your daily workflow into 3 distinct states. First up, the working directory. This is your physical workspace where you actively edit files and honestly make a bit of a mess. Second is the staging area. Think of this like a loading dock. It's where you bundle specific, related updates together and you leave behind any experimental changes you aren't quite ready to save. And third, the permanent history. That's where that bundled staging area is officially recorded as an unbreakable snapshot. Understanding how your work flows through these 3 states is the absolute key to mastering this tool. Once you truly understand those states, you unlock the incredible power of safe experimentation. This structure enables a concept called branching. Basically, branching creates an isolated parallel workspace for you. It gives you a parallel universe to safely test that wild, high-risk idea you came up with in the shower, all without destroying the main project codebase. You only merge those experimental updates back into the main project when they are proven, tested, and fully ready to go. There's a really important guiding philosophy here. Branching is what makes collaboration safe. And a vital thing to remember is that this isn't just for massive teams. Even if you're working entirely alone in your office with literally no one else to coordinate with, utilizing branches acts as your ultimate professional safety net against accidental breaks. It completely prevents you from corrupting your own functional work while you test out a wild new idea. So let's see how this translates into your actual workday. By mastering this conceptual flow, your daily routine becomes this highly efficient, seamless loop. Step 1, you make your local edits. Step 2, you stage the related work you want to save. Step 3, you capture that snapshot for the permanent record. And Step 4, you safely send your recorded history up to the collaborative cloud. That specific rhythm right there, that accounts for the vast majority of your daily professional work. Of course, because we live in reality, we have to talk about what happens when things overlap. When two people edit the exact same file from different locations and try to send it to the cloud, well, conflicts are going to happen. It's inevitable. Now, people usually panic at the dreaded merge conflict. But with this mental model, you stop panicking. You don't arbitrarily delete things in a cold sweat. Instead, you simply view the two versions side by side, read the markers the system provides, and confidently choose the best path forward. Merge conflicts are just routine administrative tasks, not catastrophic emergencies.
Now, as we zoom out to the strategic level for our advanced viewers, it's time for a major paradigm shift. We absolutely must stop viewing these systems as mere backup tools or mandatory admin hurdles. Instead, we need to start recognizing them as architectural frameworks for your entire career. This is fundamentally about how you exist and communicate within a professional, collaborative environment.
I want you to think really deeply about this next point. Your version history is a public timeline of how you think. Every permanent snapshot you create leaves a permanent digital footprint. It forms a very public, very professional narrative that showcases exactly how you approach and solve complex problems over time. It doesn't just show the shiny, polished final product. It actually shows the messy, iterative, brilliant journey of your logic.
Think of this history as your professional blueprint. Anyone reviewing your project portfolio, whether that's a hiring manager, a prospective client, or a senior colleague, they can look at the timeline of your updates and instantly gauge your collaborative fluency. They can see your reliability, how logically you break down massive tasks into smaller snapshots, and how clearly you document your changes. It proves your ability to navigate team friction with absolute grace, and it showcases your overarching strategic mindset, all without you having to say a single word. So as you move forward and build out your collaborative workflows, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought. If this tool meticulously tracks every move you make, every decision you finalize, and every problem you solve, what exactly does your blueprint say about the professional you are today? The next time you save your work, remember this: you aren't just creating a simple checkpoint, and you aren't just pushing files through a workflow. You are architecting your professional footprint. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I genuinely hope this completely changes how you approach your next project.